Yes, things are. We're gonna wait, if you don't mind, 10 to 15 minutes, a bit.
No problem.
Trying to take advantage of this lockdown thing. We're gonna wait, if you don't mind, 10 to 15 minutes, a bit.
Sur YouTube derrière.
All right. Hello, hi Jana, how are you? Nice to see you tonight. Cannot unmute her.
Nico, on attend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, ça commence.
Hi Jana, I'm trying to unmute you. 1 second.
Okay. Hello, hello.
Hi Jana.
Hi, ciao.
Hi.
How many people are already here?
Just a couple of them. It's going to be quiet, I believe, tonight because, well, you know, with the situation in Bangkok.
Yes.
I believe this is not going to be the most attractive meetup in some ways. And, let's wait, if you don't mind, until 7 to 10. Then
It's okay.
And we will start.
Fine. Fine for me. Okay.
All right, everybody, I think we shall start anyway. So first, thank you very much, everybody, for joining tonight. It's not really the most convenient meetup. The point is really to meet people in person. But anyway, this is the situation here in Thailand and around the world. So we need to deal with it and to try to continue working and building on blockchain. So that's why we would like to continue those meetups, even if the situation is not ideal. So first, before we start, I really would like to thank Charles Dossi from ConsenSys for joining tonight. This is really appreciated, especially in those times. And I will let him speak a bit, but before we were supposed to have Mr. Yvan Nasr from Certik, but he's based in New York. In view of the situation with COVID-19 over there, he was, as you can imagine, a bit busy with the situation. So he couldn't join. He just told us actually yesterday. So anyway, I would like to thank Charles for joining tonight. And we have the great chance to have him and to represent ConsenSys, which is also our partner. So I will let Charlie introduce himself and start the presentation.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. I guess you can see my screen. All right, just confirm to me.
Yes, all perfect. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, everyone. I think I can see some familiar faces. We might have met a few months ago at some Ethereum for Enterprise Meetup in Bangkok. So it's good to see you again. So my name is Charles Dossi. I'm Director Asia Pacific with ConsenSys, and it's a great pleasure for me to share some insights about blockchain in enterprise together with our Thailand partner Atato, with who we are building some very interesting things. So stay tuned. Just refresher maybe about ConsenSys. ConsenSys is the world's largest blockchain engineering company. We operate out of 30 different cities, 1,000 employees, 800 engineers. So we are all about the technology. We address mostly the B2B market and the financial use cases. And we're going to look at the financial use cases a little bit later. We have within ConsenSys different streams of activities. One of them is infrastructure. We are a product company before all. We also take care of education of developers and executives, as well as solutions, which we architect as well as deliver. ConsenSys is also one of the largest investors in the space. So when we come to the market in Thailand together with Atato and some other markets, we come really with a portfolio of products which are helping us to reach the market much faster at lower cost, as well as solutions which are much more secure to implement. So when you look at infrastructure, for example, you've got Infura and Pegasus. Infura is a solution which enables people to get premium connectivity to the Ethereum mainnet. Today, Infura manages about 10 billion queries every day. So it's really a very central part of, if I can say so, a very fundamental part of the Ethereum blockchain for many dApp developers and enterprise developers. Pegasus is an enterprise Ethereum client with a lot of privacy features. We're going to come back to this a little bit later on. Orchestrate is more a middle layer kind of software which enables you to connect your app together with your network and orchestrate all the account creations, account management, as well as transactions and private keys. So very, very interesting piece of software doing all the dirty work and the heavy lifting on many projects. A very popular product at ConsenSys. And then we come moving forward with all the Codefi suite of applications, which is on the top of the software stack, which enables to create stablecoins. We're going to talk about this in a few minutes. It enables as well to create tokens, security tokens, or tokens representing any kind of asset, as well as managing payments, if you like to. So all these products really help to go faster and cheaper and reaching the market. That's very important when you manage products like you are in enterprises. One of the key advantages of ConsenSys is this global footprint and the critical size we've reached over the years, which enable us to support the projects we are deploying with banks. What is very important to capture is when you build a blockchain business network, or when you build a blockchain platform, most of the time it brings different type of companies, and different companies are working around this blockchain. And the one question is always coming back about the support of this blockchain. It's basically a shared infrastructure, and many people want to find a performance solution as well as a fair solution in terms of governance to maintain the platform, and making sure that if there is a problem on your platform on Sunday morning at 4 o'clock, there will be someone which will be able to fix the platform and answer customers' questions. And this is one service we are able to offer, which is very important when you deploy in the world of finance, where many markets are working 7 days a week. Some of the working with, you see a lot of people in the financial services. Track and trace is also a use case which we've been able to deploy with Procter & Gamble, the NBA, or GSK, as well as the identity management, and we help also a lot of different governments and supra governments in terms of blockchain strategy definitions, such as the European Commission, for example, the city of Yong'an, or the Ministry of Finance in France. Let's talk about use cases. Let's get a focus on blockchain around finance. So very quickly, and we are very happy to do a deep dive in the next meetup, or maybe in a follow-up meeting with some of you which are interested to deep dive in those topics. I will try in the next few minutes to really highlight 4 use cases in finance, which are I would say very hot topics nowadays. The first one is tokenization of assets. It's a broad spectrum of applications. Stablecoins are in the press on a regular basis. What we find out, and what will probably be very relevant in a couple of months, when the world will start to rebuild our respective economy, is how we can look at deep tier financing in supply chain, as well as maybe we're gonna end up with collateral management when it comes to capital market activities. So tokenization, as you might have heard around you in the press, or maybe within your IT team and innovation lab, really helps to basically put a wrapper and give a new shape and a new vehicle to assets. It helps to bring efficiency, having this single share source by basically hosting this asset on a blockchain, should it be private or public, and automate a lot of the processes around the management of this asset. The best solution at ConsenSys, and which we were happy to deploy with you guys together with Adato in Thailand, is it's Codefi, which helps you to tokenize these assets and also build the networks around this asset. So it comes with a very strong proposition in terms of management of your portfolio, as well as managing the full cycle of digital assets from their issuance, their primary issuance, as well as the secondary market. All of these activities most of the time are regulated, so it's important to have a very solid and matched Codefi software. A very concrete example is an example which is in a way close to Thailand, and also very close to you guys in Thailand. Is a use case and a platform we built for a real estate fund based in France called Mata Capital. So Mata Capital, the value proposition is Mata Capital used to be and is still a REIT. So it's a fund which owns many different companies, many different real estate pieces all around the world. But some of their customers were asking to be able to invest in specific properties rather than in a basket of properties. And this is what we've been able to create for Mata Capital, is tokenizing really the fund and enabling the creation of funds at very low cost and very fast pace, together with the lawyer from Paris. So the value proposition here is to create a fund for every property in which Mata Capital has opportunities to invest, and give the choice to the customer not only to invest in the basket of properties, but also invest in specific properties. And why I was mentioning this use case is close to Bangkok is within the tokenization which we have been going through Mata Capital roadmap in the past months. one building was actually based in Bangkok. So it was an opportunity for people and investors from Europe to basically buy security token representing an office in Bangkok and buy them through a tokenization process delivered by ConsenSys. Second use case here are stablecoins. You might be using some of them. This is a little bit an overview of the stablecoins. You see some of them are payment stablecoins. You can think of the Ethers or Bitcoin, and there is all different kind of categories. Some of these stablecoins are utilities. Some of them are collateralized. Some of them are synthetically collateralized. So it's an ecosystem which is growing extremely fast. And when you look at different how you want to start to deploy stablecoins, you really look at principle of composability. You want to make sure you can get microservices and API connectivity, so it can connect to your existing systems and to the system of the counterpart, which will be receiving these stablecoins, and making sure that there is actually compartments and modules to really manage the full life cycle of these stablecoins, from the issuance to the management. So it comes with connectivity to the mainnet, because most of the stablecoins bring their value by being very liquid and exchangeable in many different ways, but also making sure that all the accounting, the orchestrations of the transactions around these stablecoins are healthy as well as compliant. So that's where Orchestrate and Codefi really bring the value and enabled anyone who wants to be involved in stablecoins to go to market quickly and efficiently. So it brings all the value of a traditional blockchain assets, such as automated and real-time transactions processing, as well as total transparency and also low cost of transactions. And the pain points which we've been, I would say, addressing with our customers is really about all these different features, which sounds easy, but actually when you go into implementation, it brings a lot of headaches and a lot of opportunities for risk and bugs. So if you look at the life cycle of a stablecoin, there is an issuance part, there is a distribution and management part, and as well there is later on all the life of the stablecoins when people send them, receive them, or maybe pay with these stablecoins as well. So there is a lot of admin functions in your smart contracts. You want to be able to trigger in a safe way. You might want to be able to freeze accounts if your regulators ask you to have some kind of control on the life of the stablecoins under your responsibility. You might want to be able to force transfer, to pause a smart contract. So all of this has to be properly and well designed to ensure that there is a very healthy issuance, and there is no more tokens than there is money or collaterals supporting them. And when it comes to the distribution and management, there will be a lot also of other questions. Here we go. Can you still hear me?
Yes, Sean. Sorry, it was a mistake. Please go ahead and thank you.
No problem. So in the distribution, same. There is a lot of smart contract things which you want to fix, and all of this can be speed up, and you build on the experience of other software and make sure your solution is viable and quickly implementable. So we've been able to build this expertise over different projects in the Philippines with Union Bank, with the South African Reserve Bank, when we built for them wholesale stablecoins. Project have been in Singapore with the MAS. Monerium is a very interesting company as well, which has an electronic money license, electronic money institutions license. And IKEA was using Monerium and tokenized euro. So have a look online. This is a very pragmatic approach. Daisy helps you with payments, and we are also building for retailers private stablecoins, which is also something which is gaining strong traction, not only in Europe but here also in Asia Pacific. One extra use case I will say bring to your attention and probably stimulate you on thinking how we can basically support smaller companies, and how this blockchain technology is not only helping the bankers but helping also small companies and their ecosystem. And there is a concept of deep tier supply chain financing. So you are probably aware of trade finance and supply chain financing. When you, as a supplier, you bring an invoice to your bank and you basically explain that this invoice is not a fake invoice. This invoice has not been already financed by another bank. So you are not doing double financing of this invoice, and you try to get financing from the bank. The reality is there is actually a very large number of suppliers which will not have the credit score, sufficient quality credit score to get financing from banks, even though they bring an invoice which will be paid by their customer ultimately. So one of the use cases we've been building for some customers in China, and I guess there will be a strong appetite in Thailand as well, is what we call deep tier financing. So just think of a supplier, you take an order to a supplier, and actually this supplier will need to order raw materials. They will need to order parts from other suppliers. And this is how you build deep tier. You've got the tier 1 supplier, and then you have the supplier of your supplier, and then there is the suppliers of your suppliers of your supplier. So it sounds a little bit complex. It actually can be a big bottleneck in terms of economy development and supporting SMEs. So what you do in deep tier financing, it's really looking at the original order and how it basically goes from different suppliers levels to different suppliers levels, and how you can support the tier 2 and the tier 3 suppliers in a way that you can document and guarantee that the invoice they are showing to you is not coming from the final customer, but is actually linked to a proper order from a high profile customer. So for that in blockchain, you bring two concepts of financing, this one block, as well as track and trace to make sure you can track and trace the order. So it's a very interesting use case. It brings real value. And if you want to know more, please be in touch with Atato. We'll be happy to deep dive into this. It's really an enabling use of blockchain. And when we see our respective economy being shaped by the current situation, you can forecast that in the coming months, many companies will look for additional source of funding, and some of them will be not always in easy situations to present their credentials, and blockchain can be very handy in this case. So as I say, we do supply chain tracking, and we basically demonstrate to the bank that the order is coming from a respectable and large customer. And the last use case to close this conversation is really about the collateral. So we are making a big move now. We are back to the capital market scene, and you know, in the capital market there is always this lending and leverage capabilities which you can use when you trade. It's something which is extremely popular into the traditional banking as well as a decentralized finance world. And there is always an issue or something which is represent a risk for the people practicing lending or looking at leveraging some of their trade. It's all about the collateral management and how do you manage them? How do you make sure customers do not collateral something with you which has been collateralized already somewhere else? And how you can automate all this risk management. So there is a lot of applications in blockchain which helps you to accelerate this process, make it more systematic, and implement and program into these platforms and all the compliance and the risk management parameters, how the customer will be getting, how we're going to bring the collateral to the lender, and how the smart contract will be managing the risk of the value of the asset lent against the value of the asset which has been collateralized. To close this presentation, I'd like to share with you some market news. So I know you follow the technology, and it's not always easy. So I would like to highlight one of the latest initiatives with ConsenSys. It's a project we've been developing over the past year with Ernst & Young, which is very active on the Ethereum blockchain as much as we are. And we find that there is a growing demand for actually connecting the old system together, and not every system is basically transferable in the short future directly to the blockchain. So we've been working and releasing an open source protocol. It's the very early days of the protocol, so it's not exactly deployable next week. But within Q3 and Q4 this year, you're going to start to see applications going into production. And the value proposition of Baseline is really synchronizing the ERP, the CRM, all the internal system of companies, and synchronizing them via the internet, via the Ethereum mainnet. So the Ethereum is really helping to synchronize all these silo systems, and using the Ethereum mainnet to make sure that all the information which will be in your ERP, for example, can be synchronized with the CRM of one of your partner, or maybe one of your customer. So these kind of things are extremely valuable. They are very hard to execute, and this is what this protocol is basically enabling. And it helps to connect this silo system via Ethereum mainnet in a way that no confidential information will be released on the main chain, to guarantee that there is privacy yet efficiency. So it's a very strong value proposition. Large enterprises are after this kind of proposal, and it's going to bring a lot of integration work as well as redesign of current architecture. So to know more about Baseline, I think the first stop for you is Twitter. As you know, Twitter is a place of choice for all the developers. So make sure you stop by Baseline Protocol Twitter account. Here is a screenshot. There is also a first version of the source code, which is open source, which has been released on GitHub. So you will find all the information. You will find the update. You will find documentation. So I really invite you to visit as well the Baseline GitHub account. And to close, there is one article which probably we can share on the Meetup page later on, which really brings a very good overview of the state of enterprise blockchain. Where does Baseline fit? This article was written by Nick Morris from Ledger Insight, and I really recommend you this piece. It's a great, I would say, a bird eye on the industry, and how the industry is slowly moving away from this intranet type of blockchain, which are only private chains, and expanding to more hybrid chains, public and private, and ultimately public chains with privacy features. So I really invite you to stop by this article. So we're going to share with you the link. So that's it for me. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any, and I'd like to thank Tato for the support and the invitation tonight.
Thank you so much, Charles. Thank you so much for your presentation. As always, very clear and very straightforward. I really appreciate it. I think before I ask a couple of questions, you guys, Jana, anybody wants to ask Charles any questions?
No, not from my side currently.
And Kun Otsada, if you can hear us.
No, not from my side.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. And actually, I had one. There was, I would say, quite a news yesterday that for the first time, the US is considering doing stablecoin for US dollar. I think this is something which is really going to push the adoption of stablecoins in a lot of different countries. I guess, Charles, you are seeing the same on your side, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think that what you've seen surface recently is really all the work from the central banks on the wholesale CBDCs, so wholesale stablecoins. So a wholesale stablecoin is basically an architecture using blockchain to coordinate the issuance of money in the form of tokens between central banks and commercial banks. So it's a first step to bringing digital and regulated stablecoins to the public. The next step, and where we see a lot of work happening right now, is looking at how do we deploy and enable retail stablecoins. So how do we get from stablecoins from a bank or central banks to the end users, to the SMEs, or to you to use them? So it requires a very different type of architecture. It requires different type of risk management. But that's really where the directions all the stablecoins are going. Large governments like the US and some others working on this. And obviously, you've seen, you probably follow very carefully the works from the Bank of Thailand. I think the Bank of Thailand has been publishing publicly some weeks ago some works on wholesale stablecoins, and I'm sure that they are already busy working on the next step, which is the ultimate goal, the retail stablecoins.
Indeed, and hopefully we're going to see the Bank of Thailand moving from different technology back to Ethereum, and if we can say like this is going to be a really big move for the country. And as you mentioned, Charles, many times Thailand has an unfair advantage when it comes to blockchain because of the regulation. So we hope that this move from the Bank of Thailand is really going to push adoption for CDBC retail. We're growing very closely. And one question that we had is that we are seeing
my wallet is ready. My wallet is ready for the Thai baht, the digital Thai baht.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. I know a couple of people in attending that meetup that are in the same position. And just a question on ConsenSys. You know, we are partners. We have been following the company for quite some time. What we see is that we are really seeing that ConsenSys is becoming a product company. And I just would like you, if you can, to highlight the top 3 products that actually are used and sold by ConsenSys.
Absolutely. Some people compare ConsenSys to the Microsoft of blockchain, and I'm not sure this is accurate, but I think it gives an idea. And your question is regarding the most popular product within ConsenSys, and I can clearly highlight them to you. The most popular for now is Pegasus. So Pegasus and Hyperledger Besu are basically brother and sister, but Pegasus is a premium version of Hyperledger Besu, and it's really the Ethereum client to connect to your network. It has a role of something very similar to Mac OS or maybe Microsoft Windows. It's a software which is not doing much in appearance, but is very fundamental for anything. So the operating system, in a way, could be Pegasus, and this is a very popular piece of ConsenSys today. The number 2 product is Orchestrate. When you build an app, you will have a lot of transactions. You will need to make these transactions working in order, and Orchestrate is a product which work end-to-end with Pegasus or Hyperledger Besu, and it really helps and enables the developers. As I was saying, it's doing the dirty job. Nothing funny, but all the things you really want to get done easily, and Orchestrate really fits in that. And the third product is a Codefi suite, which can be compared in a way to Microsoft Office, where you've got a sub software for editing, a sub software for making calculation. The same thing applies with Codefi. We have a Codefi for tokenizing, a Codefi for payments, a Codefi for management. So these are really the 3 main items.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles, for your presentation again. We really appreciate that you took the time to talk to us today, especially in view of the situation. It's not ideal, as we mentioned, but anyway, we need to move forward and to keep building, as you mentioned. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to make a short presentation of Atato for the people who don't know us. And if you can give me 1 second. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So for the few people who don't know us, at Atato, we are a blockchain service provider. We are based in Bangkok. We have been founded in 2017, and most of our team is based in Bangkok, here in the center of Bangkok. We have been working very closely with our partner ConsenSys, and thanks to Charles, we have been growing our relationship for the past few months, working with ConsenSys and the companies of ConsenSys to deliver blockchain software platform for clients here in Thailand. So we are a blockchain service provider, as I mentioned. We are working with clients in a different industry, in the energy industry, finance, supply chains, and others. And we are helping businesses to basically implement blockchain in their existing IT system. So just a small overview, Bamboo was actually for tokenizing energy, was a POC. Longroot has been the first company to receive the SEC license here in Thailand for a new way of financing, which is called the ICO portal. It was quite a very advanced regulation from the Thai SEC, and we are hoping to see the first ICO coming in the coming months. Thai Union, actually, we were the first in the world to use the Ethereum public blockchain to track and trace tuna can along the supply chain. It was back in 2018 where it was really the beginning of blockchain for enterprise. It's a project that actually, I would say, put us on the map. And we are seeing that a lot of companies now all over the world, like Walmart or Carrefour, starting to use blockchain for the track and trace of all their food goods. So what do we do at Atto? Apart from being ConsenSys partner, we are actually building technology, and we are implementing smart contracts and blockchain technology in our clients' existing system. So this is our expertise. This is all of our engineers which are present here, which are certified on the ConsenSys product. And this allows us to deliver a very fast and efficient blockchain platform for our clients. The goal at Atto is really to bring return on investment to the clients when they start to implement blockchain. So we work the same way as IT service providers. We generally start with a training. We are glad that now, in Thailand, a lot of major companies are very well educated on blockchain. The part of training is less and less, and companies come to see us with actually real blockchain project. It was not the case, I would say, 1 year ago, but we are seeing a really increasing knowledge from the Thai companies here. So it's good to see. It's really encouraging for the blockchain ecosystem as a whole. And I think it's going to grow much faster that the regulation is in place now. As you mentioned, Charles, the Bank of Thailand, the Thai SEC is very proactive to push the blockchain adoptions here in Thailand. So really great things to come. I would just finish on saying and why today are we the partner of ConsenSys and why we wanted to be a ConsenSys partner is because we are building on Ethereum. And it's not because we invested in Ethereum back in the time, but it's really because it helped us bring blockchain platform much easier than any other platform. This is a slide that we show to some companies that we are meeting. Why do we choose Ethereum? Basically because today, if you want to have blockchain engineers and full stack engineers, you need to see the amount of companies which are building on Ethereum. Today, compared to Hyperledger Fabric or Corda, it's a no-brainer. We just took the number of jobs opened on LinkedIn, and Ethereum is well advanced. The same for GitHub. This is very important for us because we are building an open ecosystem. So we want to have the resources and softwares available to deliver blockchain platform easy. Today, it's the same. Ethereum is way in advance in the developments compared to the other platform, and I believe it is going to increase much further in the coming years. Hopefully, with the implementation of Ethereum v2, we are going to see a great scaling phase for Ethereum in the coming months. Last thing, where the investment is done, ConsenSys has been very proactive on this part. Ethereum is well in advance compared to the other platforms, so that's why today we believe that Ethereum is the platform of choice for enterprise blockchain. So I just wanted to make a small overview of us and why we are here, why we do organize this these meetups, it's really to build the community and to build the community of actually business people, but also about IT people, engineers, software developers. We want to have a point every month to be able to meet together, exchange ideas, bring other company which have built platforms on blockchain. I think this is the way that we can bring innovation and push the adoptions here in Thailand. And again, I would like to thank Charles for joining today. You're part of it. Actually, you have been helping us a lot during those past few months. And yeah, we are looking forward for a great relationship and partnership with ConsenSys during the years to come. That's it for me. Any questions from the attendants? Jana, I know you are a CIO and you are looking for to build a hackathon to reply to the COVID-19.
Yes, we are trying to do something like that. It's just currently not really something to speak about. As soon I'm able to tell something, I will let you know. So it's
okay, all right.
Yeah.
And any other questions from the attendants before we close this short meetup?
I don't have any question.
Thank you very much, Kunotsada. Now, I know it was not ideal today, but anyway, I thank you very much for everybody for joining, especially you, Charles, to take the time for that. And yeah, hopefully in April, we are able to resume our normal meetups and to be able to do it in our common co-working space. There will be beers and free pizza for everybody, and we will have more time to exchange face-to-face. We just need to adapt in those times, but anyway, we'd like to thank you all for tonight. And I wish to see you all in the next meetup in April. Thank you very much, Charles, again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope everyone stays safe. Thank you.
Thank you very
the
much.
same to you. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.